Hi guys, welcome. In this video, we'll be experimenting with a new update in auto layout inside Figma. This is an awesome new update in Figma where we can replicate the feature of Flexbox of CSS inside Figma to create dynamic layouts easily. You can also find an example Figma file of this update in the community tab over here, which is Figma Auto Layout Playground. If you don't find this particular card over here, you can also search for it in the search bar over here as well. But we will go through the step by step and making our own UI elements, and here we'll be making buttons which will be dynamic, and then some cards which will be responsive cards, and also we'll be going through some navigation bar and creating our responsive navigation bar for all the screen sizes, and also a pricing table which will be dynamic as well. So without any delay, let's get started. So the first thing that we'll be exploring is buttons, which is a really good example that we can start with. So first thing would be creating a button and how we can adapt to the text inside a button and create a dynamic resizing button. So for that one, generally what we tend to do is previously when there were no auto layouts, we generally use some frames. For example, this one right here, we would actually use frames and center align this particular text, and it would create some kind of resizing button. But these buttons wouldn't resize well and wouldn't adapt to its content inside it. But we can also achieve a dynamic button with the help of auto layout, but this could be achieved in previous version of auto layout as well. So we will also be covering recent auto layout features introduced as well. So let's paste the text over here. After pasting the text over here, we can also click on Shift A to add an auto layout, or right click and add an auto layout here as well. For this one, we will click on Shift A, and as you can see, auto layout has been added, and we will also add some fills and some stroke to this one as well, and also a bit of border radius as well. So as you can see, we have 10 padding around the items. We want to have 10, 15 on the top and 15 in the bottom, whereas 30 on the left and 30 on the right. So right now we just created a dynamic resizing button. So actually the recent release here is we have something like space between and packed, which will be certainly be covering this one as well. And for this one, what this thing provides is we can set individual padding over to our left, right, or top and bottom. For example, we want 25 on the bottom but 15 on the top, but we also can have that one as well. So this is some recent update in auto layout where we can assign particular values of spaces to individual sides as well. So if we type on here button, so that we can see our button is pretty much resized, but it seems like we added 40 over here. Let's make it 30. So uh, this is our pretty much dynamic button that we just made. So now let's move on to another example, which is cards. For these cards, we will add some of the UI elements, and let's go through. For this particular card here, we will make the header part, which would be somewhat responsive, and then we will also add some tags over here and also some text, and apply now CTA. And we'll also make the use of uh, the equal height, how we can create equal heights for our cards as well. And we will also add down spaces as we need uh, inside our cards as well. So let's draw an oval first for our placeholder for our images of companies, which is right here, and we'll also add our company name on the top, which would be promo box, and we can reduce a little bit of a height of this one as well, and we can also add another text, which is the position name, and we can call it front end developer, and we can also copy this particular style that we have to this one as well. So for the gaps in between this one, let's make it 15 for now. I'll add an auto layout with shift A, and also select this one and auto layout for this two as well. And as you can see, we have align on the top. We want to make it to the center, so click on this one, and we can also add some paddings if you want. For example, we added a padding of 30 to all sides, but we want 20. uh, let's say it would be 15, and 15 on the top and bottom, and 30 on the right and left. So we can also add some fills to our background as well, and add some border radius of 12, and also some strokes of 2 pixels, and finally we can add some setup block to this one as well, and also some strokes to this one as well, and we can change this to image, and which can be fill, and which can be later be replaced with an image that we want as well. So let's reduce some space in between this one. So for these two, I'll add an auto layout again, and change it to like vertically centered, and add some gaps of 20 pixels as well. So now let's work on the responsive part of this particular card over here. Right now, as you can see, it's not properly responsive in a sense. So for that one, we can choose on the promo box, company name, and add a field container and hug contents. Also, we can select the position, field container, and hug contents. And also we can select this particular frame which wraps these two, and also add field container and hug contents to that one as well. And let's see, if we try to resize this one, it doesn't. So let's check what have we uh, fixed width and field container. Okay, so field container and hug contents, field container and hug contents, field container and hug contents. I think uh, it's now properly responsive because we didn't add it field container to one of the frame that we need. And as you can see, it's kind of like somewhat what we are trying to achieve. And let's also add some of the other things that we wanted, which is some of the tags over here. So for the tags, what we want to do here is, let's add some text and write some keywords like redux, and then let's add an auto layout to this one. And for the spacing, I want 5 spacing on the top and 5 in the bottom, and 10 I'm okay with 10 for now. Also let's add some fields to this one, and let's give it a color of white. I mean color of white to the text inside it, sorry, to the text inside it. Okay, and then let's add a bit of like border radius, and also add some strokes to this one as well. And we are pretty much good with our This particular thing is somewhat resembles what we created in buttons as well, and we will again create um, another duplicate of this one, pressing command sorry, option shift and drag, and we can add some spaces in between them, and also give an auto layout to this one as well. And as you can see, we have dynamic um, fitting peels, so to say. And let's cut this one, and let's paste this particular thing over to our job cards right here. As you can see, we have somewhat uh, some decent cards going on. So for our next, what we can do here is we can create some paragraphs and CDA as well. For the paragraphs, we draw some text with uh, some text inside it, and we can also right click on the auto height as well. So let's um, tap on the job card and paste it over there as well. As you can see, it's not totally aligned, so we hit on and manually aligned it for now, and then click on these two and add an auto layout to these two as well. As you can see, we have an auto layout to this one and an auto layout to this one as well. Let's also add an CDA. For that CDA, we have apply now, and then we also have some kind of arrow over here. Let's copy that one and let's paste it over here. And for that one, we just need an arrow. Let's make this uppercase for now. Yeah, okay. And for this one, let's paste this particular CDA over here as well, and let's add an auto layout to this one as well, and we don't need any gaps, uh, so let's reduce gaps overall, and then let's add fill container and how content to this particular thing, fill container and how contents. As you can see, it's full width now. Also to this one, we can add a fill container and how contents. So we have three auto layouts, and we also want to wrap this particular three auto layouts into one auto layout as well. And let's add a bit of spaces over to our top and bottom, or between the auto layouts we have 30 and then 30. And then I think we're pretty much done with our responsive job cards. So let's try to resize this one, and it seems like it's not properly resizing, so let's fix that one as well. And now let's check. As you can see, we have somewhat decent responsive card going on here, and we can also add some of the tags if we want, like other stuff like TypeScript, or maybe ES7, sorry, ES7 as well, and remove this card. And yeah, it somewhat looks okay to me. So now let's move ahead and create our three cards with equal heights despite of any content inside them. So for that one, we can add this particular card here and another two cards here, which will have let's say, which will have about 60 pixel of space in between them. And we can group this one, align it to center and vertical center, and ungroup again. So if we just write some contents, then it won't be like resizing as per the content it receives. So for making it an equal height, for example, for these three cards, in order, if we have a flex box to wrapped over these three cards, then automatically the flex box elements would be like equal height. So for that one, we can like choose these three cards and add auto layouts to three cards as well. And then we can choose this particular card and this particular card, and then say something like fill container. So as you can see, we can also select this one and add a fill container as well. As you can see, we have uh, like automatic scaling height of these particular cards, as you can see. So the same goes to this one. So we have an equal height cards and responsive cards as well. Now moving on to the next, we have a navigation bar, which we will be making it totally responsive in all sizes, which can be used with just one UI element, which is just one serves all the screens. So for that one, we can create, uh, let's see, we can start with simple rectangles for now. These acts like a navigation links, and we will be obviously be starting them. Let's group this one, align it to the center and vertically center on group it, and we will copy, or let's say we will try to replicate these styles as well. Add a stroke of 2, and then give it white, uh, sorry, black strokes and white. This one will add some drop shadow effect to this one as well, and we can also add an auto layout to this one as well and align it to the center as well. So now the next thing that we want to create is this particular which represents logo icon and some text. So let's try to create that one. For that one, we will create some rectangles, add some some so-called border radius to this one, and also like try to create some the logo names as well right here. So let's try to copy these stuffs to this one. Let's select all of this one and add some border radius as well, so that we can like visually look at much better. I think these don't have any border radius until now. Okay, so looks like we have our auto layout to this one, but not this one. For that one, also click on, I mean, press Shift A and add an auto layout and vertically align it to the center. And we have an auto layout to this one, also this one. And also we want to replicate some icons on the right. And for the right, we can add some rectangles, and then we can add some, these drops shadows as well, and then some strokes, which should be like 3, I think. We can copy and paste the styles over here, and then we can add some decrease a bit, and then group them together and add an auto layout to this one as well. So let's select these 3 and add an auto layout to these 3 as well. So these 3 can be aligned to the center, and also we can add some background to this one. So let's try to add a background, and we want spaces of 30 pixels on all sides. So also we can add a bit of strokes and a bit of effects to our navigation bar right here, and um, looks okay. But the thing is that our navigation bar is not totally well responsive. For that one, what we can do here is we can click on these individual parts. Let's say click on these parts which are grouped together and added our layout, and we can add a fixed width to this one and hug contents to this one. And for this one, we can add field container and add, let's see, uh, let's try to have fixed field container and hug contents to this one. And then for this one, we can add fixed width and hug contents as well. So this would be sticking to the right, this would be sticking to the left, and obviously this would be sticking to the center. So now if we try to resize this one, then it resizes well, and we can create somewhat a navigation bar with these kind of stuffs right here. As you can see, we have this navigation bar for our you know the laptop screens, but we can tweak a little bit and add another for our tablets. For example, we can add our tablets, or let's say iPad Pro 11, and we can make the use of that particular navigation bar and paste it over here. We can resize a little bit, but it seems like uh, we have some issues with this one, so we will grab this particular thing over here and maybe resize its spaces, or maybe probably remove these two, and then somewhat we can toggle between hidden and unhidden. We'll be replicating this particular pricing table and creating our own with auto layout. So first of all, I will try to replicate these boxes. So better if we just copy them, and also we just add a text to it and add a branch, and we also want to add some pricing to this one, which is 70 for now, and then we can also copy this particular style to this one as well, and align it to the center again, and then around uh, 10 of space on the top, and 60 of space from on the top from here. We can also add some other text like for emails, and then we can add an auto layout and align it to the center. We can add other text like unlimited support, and then 125 emails, and other text Skype support as well. So let's align all of these to the center, and we also want this to grab this particular call to action that we kind of replicated over here as well. Let's also align everything to the center, and looking at the spaces, anyway, we'll manage these spaces later on. Let's add an auto layout to this one, and also align this one to center. Let's add an it's already auto layout. Let's add an auto layout to this one, also this one, and selecting all of these, let's add an auto layout to all of these as well. So we want to have a space of 45, and also add a space of 10 to each element down here. So now moving on to the next step, we want to wrap all of these to another auto layout. So add another auto layout, and also we want it to the center, and inside here we want this to be in the center and to the top, and this to the center. Let's add some of the fields that we want. We add an L field, also a drop center field that we have, also some of the strokes and padding, And we can also add some to spaces, and then add a 70 of padding. And after adding them, we kind of like, let's reduce this to 30, and let's try to replicate this card and make a replicate of three of these. So after replicating all of these, I want to wrap all of these to again another auto layout. And after applying these, I want to apply this to the top and to the center. And to its child, I want to have fill container, but it creates a gap in the top so that it doesn't align. So I want to select these and add fill container again, and to these align fill container again. So I want to select these again and add a fill container, also fill container to this one. And now we can see it has perfect dynamic height going on. So we can delete items, and we can also add items, or maybe add items to add a dynamic height to our pricing tables as well. So this is how we can create some of the dynamic UI with auto layout. You should try an auto layout, so it's really awesome. So guys, I hope you got some initial ideas on making some UI with the use of auto layout, which is recently released by Figma. So thanks to the Figma team, and thank you so much for watching my videos. If you guys want to learn more about design and development, so please like, share, and subscribe with a click down below. I'll be trying to make more better videos than this one. So see you in the next one, guys.